Welcome back to the channel everybody. This is Sudhindra again, and in this video I'm going to give you a detailed review of OnePlus Nord. I've been using this phone for 4 days. That's a decent amount of time to evaluate any phone. In this video I'll be giving you all the pros and cons of the phone, and I will also be giving few tips to you so that you can maintain your phone as long as possible. And we are starting now. But before we get there, if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to the channel and ring the bell to get notified whenever I post an awesome video. Friends, I have a target to reach 1000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I can achieve that only with your support. Friends, as I already said, I've been using this phone from 4 days, and this has become my daily driver during these 4 days. In the last 3 days, I got 2 OTA updates, and the review is after the OTA updates have been installed. So you can consider this as the latest review from my side. First, let's talk about the design. It's a very familiar design that we have seen in many OnePlus phones. It's a glass sandwiched phone with Gorilla Glass 5 on both front and back. That should give you decent scratch resistance. However, I suggest you use a case, and I'll tell you why in some time. The phone is slim enough, and there are curves on both the sides so that you can easily hold the phone with one hand. Even though there are a lot of phones with a similar screen size, OnePlus Nord is a lot comfortable to hold in one hand. And believe me guys, I don't like big phones. There are some other signature OnePlus aspects in this phone, like the alert slider, which is very handy. Believe me or not, a lot of people buy OnePlus only because of the alert slider. The color I have with me is a grey onyx. I've asked my cousin to buy a blue one, but she liked it, so it's her phone. You can see the gradient when I shift the phone from this side to this side. That gives a very premium look to this phone. Even though it's a mid-ranger phone, it looks premium. Also, even the frame is plastic. They have given a metallic paint on the sides, so that gives good metallic feeling and increases the premium feeling of the phone. However, since it's a paint on plastic, it will easily chip off, so you have to maintain it properly. Coming to the rear of the phone, we see the camera hump. Even though the hump is similar to what we see in other OnePlus phones, this looks little more because the other form factor of the phone is very slim. The first thing that I don't like in this phone is the plastic frame. Now you can tell me that it's a mid-ranger phone and it comes with only with plastic, and you can also say that you are okay with plastic. The phone that I am using comes with a plastic frame, and yes, it has survived the bend test. However, OnePlus has failed. So it's very important for you not to keep your phone in your jeans pockets, or when you are wearing tights, you should avoid keeping your phone in pant pockets. And also, the case that comes along with this phone in the box will not going to help you. I have shown one case in my unboxing video. I'll show it again here. I recommend everyone buying that case. This is the case that I'll be recommending. This is a OnePlus original case. It comes for around 800. It has a sandstone finish, which gives you very good grip when you are using the phone. So I don't suggest the case that comes in the box as well as these kind of cases. These are good cases, but these can save only from some drops. So I don't think this will provide any structural strength. This case on the other hand has good strength, so it can withhold some level of pressure on the phone. So in the remaining part of the video, I'll be using this case on the phone. You let me know in the comments how did you like this case. OnePlus this year wanted to please both right-handed and left-handed folks. That ended up in this awkward button placement. At least this is something that irritated me. Yeah, the power button is at the right place where you can easily reach with the thumb. Unfortunately, I would have preferred the volume rocker just above the thumb. This is just a personal preference. Coming to the weight of the phone, it has a good 180 plus grams of weight, and OnePlus has done a very good job in terms of weight distribution. So it will not be very head heavy or chin heavy when you are holding this phone. That will help you in using this phone for longer time with one hand. Coming to the call quality, as I said, this has become my daily driver. The earpiece and the call quality are excellent. I've used Airtel VoLTE SIM, and the speeds are also excellent. When it comes to the speaker, it has a single downward facing speaker. It can be easily muffled when you are using your phone horizontally. The speaker output is high enough, but it lacked clarity in higher volumes. If I remember correctly, Poco F1 had the same issue, and in an OTA they have fixed it by decreasing the output of the speaker. OnePlus can do the same, and that will drastically improve your experience of using the speaker. Coming to the screen of the phone, I have mixed feelings about this. The screen is 6.44 inches Super AMOLED display. Everyone knows about it. The 90Hz refresh rate is very good. I use a 60Hz refresh rate screen. The difference is not much that you can notice unless you go to 120 from 60. However, this itself is a welcome move. If you see how quickly and how fluidly the apps move, that itself shows the refresh rate of the screen, at the same time the performance of the phone. Coming to the negative points about the screen, the peak brightness of the screen is low compared to the other OnePlus phones. That makes it really difficult if you are accessing the phone in direct sunlight. I literally had to close the screen and read it. That is not good. However, once you move into shade, if you are in indoor situations, the screen brightness is pretty good. And it looks like the auto brightness itself is little buggy, and that is something that OnePlus can fix it very easily. I'm sure they will be targeting that in the upcoming OTA. Now talking about the hottest topic, that is rocking OnePlus Nord, the green tint issue. I want to make a dedicated video on that, so stay subscribed and keep an eye on this channel. I will be uploading that video in a week. I have done good amount of research, compared OnePlus Nord screen with other OnePlus screens which are again Super AMOLED, and I have considered some Samsung screens also which are again Super AMOLED, and I will be making a video on that pretty soon. Otherwise, it's a pleasant screen. It has HDR10 plus certification, it has Widevine L1 certification, and I spend a lot of time on YouTube, on Netflix, on Prime, and the experience has been very good. The colors are punchy. Of course, I don't like the vivid mode that comes as default, and I change the color to more natural view. Coming to the SoC, you all know that this phone is powered by Snapdragon 765G processor. It is very good. There is nothing wrong about it. It's not flagship. In the last 4 days, there are no lags and stutters. I know in 4 days no one will encounter lags and stutters, but I'm confidently telling you will not see those even after a year because of Oxygen OS. So you can happily use this phone. Unless you are downgrading from Snapdragon 865 processor or Apple's Bionic A13 or A12 processors, you will not see any lag or any slowness in this phone. So this is a wonderful processor. You can consider this without any issues. We have already seen a lot of phones powered by Snapdragon 720 and 730 which are performing really well, and this is about 20% better than those processors. So you can expect very good performance throughout the phone's life. The next point is RAM and storage. I want you to pay close attention to this topic, because if you are planning to buy a 64 GB variant, this will really be a problem for you. The system occupies about 26 gigs of storage. So if you are planning to buy a 64 gig variant, you will end up getting only 35 to 38 gigs of storage in your phone. And my friends, believe me, you will end up consuming it in less than 2-3 months. So it's a sincere suggestion to go for 8 128 or 12 256, whichever you want, whichever is in your budget. So if you're not sure which variant of Nord to buy, I made a dedicated video for that. I'll be leaving a link in the I button here. Go ahead and watch it after watching this video. There I've given what is the best variant that you should be buying, what are the pros and cons of each variant. Coming to the best feature of any OnePlus phone, the Oxygen OS. OnePlus has replaced their OnePlus feed with Google feed, which is really good, and Google customizes as per your preferences better than OnePlus themselves. And all other OnePlus signature features are there. Double tap to wake up, V for flash, O for camera, everything is there in this phone as well. Now what else is beautiful in this phone compared to other phones is there is a quick way to reach Google Assistant. You just have to swipe from either this corner or this corner. That's the easiest way to access Google Assistant. I use Google Assistant many times a day, and this is going to ease up my life a lot. And Google Assistant can also be enabled directly from power button. So if you want to switch off the phone, you have to use the volume button and power button, and that is a cumbersome process. Continuing the topic of Oxygen OS, OnePlus has slowly started installing a lot of third-party junk, which of course a lot of us will use. Still, I always said Oxygen OS is a clean OS without any bloatware, and there is good amount of bloatware here. You have Amazon, you have Facebook, you have Netflix, you have Instagram, you have Prime. There are a lot of unnecessary apps. Of course, if you use it, use it. If you don't use it, it's bloatware for you. This is not the meaning of cleaner OS. However, since I use these apps, I don't have any problem. Coming to the security of this phone, we know that OnePlus comes with ultra fast face unlock and very good in-display fingerprint scanner. Both of them cannot provide you actual security, keep that in mind. face unlock can be duped. Same is the case with in-display fingerprint scanner. All the phones with in-display fingerprint scanner can be easily duped other than your Samsung S20 and Note 20, which has an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. These scanners on the other hand will just take a photo of your finger and they will try to match it with the photo in their database. So that can be duped easily. However, coming to the speed of unlocking the phone, OnePlus has dramatically increased the speed of unlocking using the under display fingerprint scanner. Now this is getting close to physical fingerprint scanner. You can check it out yourself. So this is extremely fast even if you compare it with OnePlus 8, and I'm sure OnePlus might be bringing these updates to OnePlus 8 series phones as well. Coming to the cameras of this phone, this has 6 cameras altogether. I'm making a dedicated vlog style video, so stay subscribed to the channel and click the notification button and wait for that video. I have mixed feelings about this camera. To give a quick summary, the main 48 megapixel sensor is a good performer, not great. It has decent sharpness. The ultra wide camera on the other hand immediately softens your pictures. The 5 megapixel depth sensor is useless and the 2 megapixel macro is nothing other than trash. Coming to the selfie cameras, the 32 megapixel camera is actually really good and the 8 megapixel ultra wide again softens your photos. So it depends on you. If you want a softer picture without much detail, you will like these cameras. However, there is a lot of hope that OnePlus will bring decent updates in future and this performance might be increased. But don't expect a drastic increase from this phone. The camera sensors itself are not great performers. Irrespective of what software you push, they might not produce great photos. But for this price, it's a decent camera. Coming to the battery and charger, these are actually very impressive for me. I'm not a big gamer. I play light games, but I spend a lot of time on social media. I watch a lot of content on YouTube, Netflix and Prime. And with this heavy usage, the phone gave me constantly 7 hours plus of screen on time. That's a very good screen on time, guys. And even if you are a gamer, the screen on time might come down by probably 1 hour or 1.5 hour max, and that's a great backup for gaming phones too. So you can consider this as a serious gaming phone. Unfortunately, iQOO 3 is very close to it. However, if you are buying this phone for gaming, you will not get disappointed. Coming to the charge speeds, I have seen in few YouTube videos where the phone is taking more than 1.5 hour, close to 1 hour 40 minutes for charging the phone from 0 to 40. However, for me, I have charged this phone 3 times in the last 4 days and these are my observations and these results are consistent. You can see them on the screen here. In the first 15 minutes, it charged up to 26%. In 30 minutes, it charged up to 47-48%, and the full charge took about 75 minutes to 80 minutes. So for a 4000 milliamp hour battery, 1 hour 15 or 1 hour 20 minutes is a good charging speed. At the end, I really don't know whether to recommend this phone or not. The OxygenOS on one side for 28,000 is very good. On the other side, the phone has a lot of issues like the peak brightness being very low, the screen having green tint issues. The SAR values of the phone are high compared to the Samsung phones in the same price range. As I said, the 6 gig variant will have only 35 to 40 gigs of storage for you, whereas the 12 gig variant is priced very close to iQOO 3. So I am really not sure, guys, whether to recommend this phone for you or not. I will revisit the phone and I will give you an updated review after 3 months if OnePlus fixes these issues. However, if you cannot wait for 2 or 3 months of time and if you want one immediately, I made a video on best alternatives for OnePlus Nord. I'll be leaving a link in the I button as well as in the description below. Go ahead and watch it. I've covered many good phones in that video and I'm sure you can find a very good option from that video. I really hope this video has helped you in taking an informed decision. I really love this phone except for the glaring bugs. Remember, you cannot have everything in every phone. There is no perfect phone out there. I do my best to answer every question. So if you have any questions at all, put them in the comments below. If this video is helpful, do let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Tweet it, share it, and if you haven't joined yet, join the Tech Platter family by hitting the subscribe button below. You can always find me in my social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can join my community on Telegram. My next videos are OnePlus Nord screen issue and a detailed camera review. So stay tuned. So I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay hungry.